Ethiopia affirms that the construction of GERD reaches a reassuring stage. And Cape Verde's stability starts to attract African diaspora. Hello and welcome to this news hour. With the news, I'm Shifarao Lako. Do stay with us. Ethiopia, in developing the Abai River for its needs, has no intention of causing harm to lower riparian countries, says Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. The premier underscored that heavy rains last year enabled successful first filling of the GERD, while the presence of the dam itself has undoubtedly prevented severe flooding in neighboring Sudan. Ahead of the second filling, Ethiopia is releasing more water from last year's storage through newly completed outlets and sharing information, he said. The next filling takes place only during heavy rainfall months of July and August, ensuring benefits in reducing floods in Sudan.
Ethiopia is the source of the Blue Nile and contributes over 85% of the Nile's stream flow. To this day, Egypt and Sudan are using 100% of the water, sticking to their 1959 colonial agreement between them. Not being signatories, Ethiopia and other upstream states do not recognize this agreement. Ethiopia is at the eve of completing the Great Renaissance Dam. Costing over $5 billion that is being paid by ordinary Ethiopians. This dam will generate 5.1 gigawatt of power, and it is a non-consumptive, eco-friendly, existential necessity to millions. The three countries have been in dispute over the construction, filling and operation of this dam, even thought this dam provides major benefits to Sudan and Egypt in terms of reducing evaporation loss, silt, sedimentation and unexpected flood. This dam is not just about generating power. It is a matter of survival for millions of Ethiopians who deserve a dignified life as their Egyptian counterparts.
Now, Ethiopia says GERD construction attains most reassuring stage in terms of dam construction quality, safety, and functionality. The construction and testing of the bottom diversion culverts this week attest that Ethiopia can carry out second filling of reservoir without any disruption to the flow of water downstream. That's according to the Ethiopian Ministry of Water, Irrigation and Energy. Sintayo Tamrat reports.
It has been 10 years since the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam started. Passing some decisive construction phases, the GERD is now expected to generate power in a few months' time. Talking to ETV Languages regarding the current status of the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, Ethiopian Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy Sleshi Bekele said the GERD construction has attained most reassuring stage in terms of dam construction quality, safety and functionality.
The dam construction is at an interesting stage right now. It is now at the stage of most reassuring stage on safety, quality, functionality of all ancillary structures. Recently, we have completed the construction and testing of what you call bottom outlets that assures continuous water flow to downstream. These bottom outlets will replace the overflow above the dam, similar to the culverts function as of last year. these two bottom outlets, which you see on the short video, were opened recently. One opened last Wednesday, and the second one was opened last night. The right bottom outlet was opened last Wednesday. It discharges water into the downstream, supporting the overflow. It means the two together actually can discharge the entire Abai flow in a matter of a year. That means our dam is designed in such a way that it doesn't really cause any type of harm. So it is a sophisticated design.
Ethiopia has extended the filling of dam reservoir from 4 years to 7 years based on the agreements among the three countries, Seleshi said. Severe drought season water release will also be carried out as per the agreement, he added.
When you look at also the filling of the dam, and the construction, they are inseparable. Inseparable in a sense that as you increase the dam height, the water is gradually stored behind the dam through these bottom outlets. When the total discharge incoming into the reservoir exceeds the outflow, then water piles up, just like last year. So the height of the dam is managed in such a way that it will not exceed the agreed value of 13.5 billion meter cube for the second year storage. So another reassurance is in case it's a year of severe drought, there is a mechanism to release more water into the downstream according to our agreement or our consensus already reached by national independent scientific research groups. In this manner, we have actually, through negotiation, we increased the filling period from 4 to 7 years, depending on the hydrology. And every year, incremental volume will be captured in the system.
The minister further indicated that the construction and testing of the bottom outlets this week attest that Ethiopia can carry out second filling of reservoir without any disruption to the flow of water downstream.
This dam will not cause any kind of harm, and this is a real opportunity. It's actually a very important development in the construction progress of the dam, where we have tested the two bottom outlets. They are functioning in an excellent manner without any problem. Now we are assured that we will fill the dam without interrupting the flow into the downstream. This is very, very important. There is no interruption. The two bottom outlets will continue to release during the flood season into the downstream. When the inflow exceeds these outflows, then the dam will capture some water. Again, when the level reaches maximum dam height for this year construction, then it starts to overtop. That way, it will be supplemented by overtopping as well as the two bottom outlets. In this way, we can also distribute the amount of water to be stored in the reservoir in more or less uniform manner, starting from July up to August.
For the sake of transparency principle, Ethiopia has so far delivered over 150 data regarding the various designs of the project, but has never received any data from Sudan and Egypt as they build their dams. However, the country has requested for that several times, Seleshi noted.
In another development, Ethiopia, as a major source of the Blue Nile River, deserves respect for the historical conservation works it has done over the Nile Basin. This remark was made by the Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy, Seleshi Bakkala, while talking to ETV about the immense advantage Egypt and Sudan will enjoy from the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Kasaun Chani has more on that.
Ethiopians have invested the time and energy to conserve the highland river basins as well as watersheds that all flow into the Blue Nile. Thus, Egypt and Sudan are indebted the East African nation for receiving a huge amount of water along. Though the two nations remain ungrateful, the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is another favor that Ethiopia does for them as the dam reduces severe flooding. Talking to ETV English, Ethiopian Minister of Water, Irrigation and Electricity Salashi Bakala said the dam stands as a beacon of hope for all Africans.
In this way, we can also distribute the amount of water to be stored in the reservoir in more or less uniform manner, starting from July up to August, end of August, or if necessary, also extend a little bit to September. So for our downstream neighbors, there is nothing to worry. This is very well known hydraulically, technically, and also through our negotiations. This is very clear to everyone.
Salashi, the two nations have nothing to complain about. They rather should thank Ethiopia for letting them get a regulated water flow all year long through Earth's mega dam.
The complaint was not as such reasonable because number one, the 4.9 billion meter cube we captured basically was very well communicated. It is available in all our three countries' document. In fact, it is not in our DNA to harm any of our neighbors. We are very clear. Ethiopia is very friendly to its neighbors. It informs any change as a result of this construction. We informed this during our negotiation. I personally requested 3-4 times in various meetings whether they have issues on the 4.9, explaining how it is going to be stored. Nobody has actually complained. So it's because it is very well known in our filling strategy, in our agreed filling strategy, we have the capture of 4.9.
Salashi underlined that completing a dam will have a paramount contribution towards eradicating poverty, maintaining economic growth, and boosting regional integration on the basis of fair and equitable use of the Nile water.
Hi, my name is Brooke Thomas Hafterweld. I was born and raised in the UK. I do not like what the Egyptians are doing to Ethiopia. This is my dam.
It's my dam. It's my dam.
It's my dam.
It's my dam.
It's my dam.
It is my dam.
It is my dam.
It's my dam.
I feel very proud that Ethiopia has gotten where she is now, because back in the days, obviously, Ethiopia didn't have many things. It was a poor country, and now it's getting richer and richer because many more educated, smarter people are coming, and people are learning more things that Ethiopia is a very amazing country. We just have to figure it out, and we just have to show other countries that we can be better than America, better than...
Welcome back. You're still watching Addis News Hour. Now moving to other stories. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed expresses the need to advance cyber tech for development. The premier, along with officials yesterday, inaugurated the new headquarters of the Information Network Security Agency. Haptam Ashagre presents the story as follows.
The new Information Network Security Agency headquarters is a complex that encompasses offices of the Ministry of Peace, Artificial Intelligence Center, and Financial Intelligence Center offices. The new complex is said to avoid the 87 million annual cost INSA incurs for office rent. During the inaugural ceremony, Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said the way the new headquarters project has been completed is exemplary for other mega projects.
ለክራይ ለማውጣት በነበረው ፍላጎት ስራው እንዲጓተት የተደረገ ቢሆንም
Despite extended delay of the construction of this headquarters due to corrupt interests to gain from renting office buildings, I'm very much delighted to see the completion of this headquarters. In like manner, I'm hopeful we can achieve the prosperity of Ethiopia by overcoming many challenges like the construction of these headquarters. I personally believe that the time is coming for Ethiopia to be an exemplary to other African countries in the future. I want to express that the time is not far to see all positive progress and achievements like this building.
The Prime Minister also expressed the dire need to advance cyber tech for development like in other parts of the world. Ethiopia envisions to make the INSA a center of leading African cyber institution. To realize the nation's development agenda, the new headquarters plays unprecedented role to mesmerizing the impact of cyberspace technology, the Premier added.
ባለፉት 2 ዓመታት ብቻ አሁን ዓለም ላይ ያለው 90% ዳታ ተመርቷል።
Over the past 2 years, the world has generated over 90% of data. This shows the future is the time of data and information. Thus, this construction plays unprecedented role to protect Ethiopia from lagging behind in the future. It is difficult to realize new knowledge without helping each other and meaningful cooperation. And achieving effective innovation is impossible without vigilant and working 24/7. You have to cooperate and helping each other to realize the honor of prosperous institutions in INSA in our country.
The Premier added the government gives prime attention to capacitate institutions and stressed the need to tackle those bottlenecks hampering the nation's development.
ተቋማት የመገንባት ስራ ፈር የያዘ መሆኑን ማስፋት ማጠናከር
We have to work cooperatively and think broadly to bring vibrant institutions. When we try to realize our smart ideas, we have to understand, exploit our mind in facing severe challenges. Primarily, Ethiopians are the first stage that creates conflicts based on religion and ethnic differences. Some foreign forces are sponsoring this Ethiopian to create internal havoc. I want to assure all Ethiopian we can bring prosperity to our country. When we realize prosperity, we will face many challenges like conflict and mass killings, but at the end, we are ensuring the sovereignty and the prosperity of the country by winning any terrorizing groups.
The construction of the 2.3 billion new headquarters was commenced in 2009.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, will officially inaugurate its Regional Cancer Center of Excellence at a ceremony in Addis Ababa. The inaugural ceremony is expected to be attended by the IGAD Executive Secretary, ambassadors of the IGAD member states, senior government officials of Ethiopia, and development partners tomorrow. This state-of-the-art center is estimated to cost $500 million and was established by the decision of the IGAD Council in 2012. The center is expected to be a key contributor to the global fight against cancer. Speaking in Djibouti before departing for Addis Ababa for the groundbreaking ceremony, Warkana Gabayo, the IGAD Executive Secretary, urged IGAD member countries and partners to mobilize resources and expertise to ensure the success of the project. Now in business, Ethiopia intends to export cement to its neighboring countries and the Middle East nations in the near future. The East African Holding Share Company takes the initiative to fully back this endeavor. The company, jointly with the Chinese Waste International Holding Group, Sunday laid the foundation stone of the Dire National Cement Industrial Complex. The owner and Director General of the East African Holding Share Company, Buzayo Tadela, said upon fully operational, the factory will produce 5,000 tons of cement per day and over 300,000 tons every year for the export market. The $350 million project will also create job opportunities to more than 12,000 citizens in the city. Meanwhile, representative of the Chinese Waste International Holding Group, Zhang Pang, underscored the importance of launching the joint venture project to further cement the bilateral ties between the two countries. It is to be recalled that the two giant companies commenced the construction of Africa's biggest cement factory in the state of Amhara a couple months ago.
The old town is surrounded by a wall with 5 of the original gates that are kept shut from dusk to dawn.
And now in our continental news, schools and hotels in Madagascar are being transformed into hospitals as the coronavirus cases surge on the Indian Ocean island. The spike is most likely due to the South African variant, which has caused a second wave. But as hospitals are overwhelmed, the makeshift treatment centers are also quickly getting full. Hotels too are being used for the influx of patients as hospitals are overwhelmed. Madagascar President Andry Rajoelina was initially strongly against COVID-19 vaccines and stood by a locally made herbal infusion as a cure. But after fierce criticism, the government took a U-turn and signed up for the global COVAX program. Now, the Cape Verde government says more people are immigrating to the small island nation than those leaving it. Political stability is appealing to African migrants and members of the diaspora who are choosing to return. That from Al Jazeera.
Anchored in the harbor of Cape Verde, island of San Vicente is the vessel of return for architect Hunle Adeami. This is much more than a floating music studio. It is a call to Africans, whether in the diaspora or African Americans, to return home to the continent. Designed by Nigerian, financed by a Malian, and located in Cape Verde, it is a tribute to African contemporary design and a window into the future.
We're on water. It's a fluid environment. It's a fluid space. You know, we have to learn to live with water instead of fighting with it. We see this as also as a vessel of return for people in the African diaspora and as a place to rewrite new narratives of the African continent.
Once a country ravaged by famines and drought 46 years after independence, the small island nation is one of Africa's fastest growing economies, attracting both African migrants who are choosing Cape Verde over a life in Europe and the diaspora returning their homeland. Among them, Jolie Moniz from the east coast of the United States. She has built a business helping African Americans and Cape Verdeans relocate to the islands.
I never felt that I was truly home until I moved to Cabo Verde. I get emotional to this day when I talk about it, but it's in my blood. I feel such a connection here. I feel at peace here.
Cape Verde is no longer poor but a stable middle-income country with a young and educated population, a key demographic for opposition leader Janira Hofer Almada looking to make history if her party, the African Party for Independence of Cape Verde, wins the legislative election. She will become the youngest and first female prime minister in Cape Verde. She has made youth employment in attracting the Cape Verdean diaspora a priority.
We are a global nation. To govern Cape Verde is to govern the 10 islands and the huge diaspora. We have become what we are today thanks to their financial contribution, skills and knowledge they transmit to us, to our country.
These once uninhabited islands where slaves were shipped off to the Americans have 145 years later become a nation that welcomes design and creativity to the continent. To Adeami, the vessels of return is an invitation for Africans to imagine and invent their own future.
Now, finally, a quick reminder of the top stories making the headlines. Ethiopia affirms that the construction of the GERD reaches a reassuring stage. And Cape Verde stability starts to attract African diaspora. And with that, we come to the end of this news edition. Many thanks for watching us. Bye.